This video is sponsored by Squarespace. I didn't even dare to hope for this when I started the project, and now it's here. Ah. Yes! This is really amazing, and I'm so excited because for the first time this year it looks like snow will hit Denmark. Usually it only snows for 1 or 2 or 3 days, and then the day after the snow is gone because the temperatures is too warm. I have this 1-year assignment for the hospitals in Denmark, and my job is to capture the moods in nature and all these beautiful sceneries out there, different time of the year, different locations around Denmark, and deliver that so the people in there can just feel the energy and the spirit of nature in the hospital. So what I'm going to do now is, after I've done packing my equipment, I'm moving to Aalborg, where my friend Simon lives, and we are looking at some maps, and then we are probably going to a place called Rold Forest, one of the biggest forests in Denmark, and that is more inland. It'll probably be 1 degree colder than here, and if that snow is coming up and it is below freezing, we will get snow, and if there's wind, we'll get snowstorm. I'm just crossing my fingers, my legs, everything that can be crossed. And I'm just hope for that snow. So yeah, let me get to Simon, and then I'll keep an eye on the weather forecast this evening. This is really good. The snow is here. It's small snowflakes and it's really difficult to see on the video, but I've just started the recording, and my biggest dream right now is if you can actually see the landscape getting covered. Oh, it's so nice to be out. And it's so beautiful here. So now I have another camera set up over here. With a little different angle, because I wanted something dark in the background so that you can actually see the snowflakes drifting. Now it's just to hope that the snow will continue and the temperature will stay below freezing, and wow, this is good. Doesn't get much better than this. It is really good. Hello, Simon.
Hello.
This is what we have been hoping for.
Yes, it's really, really nice. Finally the snow is here, so...
I just hope this hill over there will get covered with snow.
I don't know if it's just my imagination, but it kind of seems as if everything is getting a bit more white now.
Yeah.
We can also see our bags and stuff.
Hopefully we'll come home with about 6 to 8 video clips of 10 minutes length, and that'll just complete the whole year with the moods of nature. So this is good. So we have 3 cameras running now. One pointing this way to get the dark background, so we can hopefully easier see the snowflakes. Yeah. So here Simon is with a 7200 trying to get this area here with a little telephoto lens. Then we have another camera up here. Let's go up. That camera is pointing out in that direction. Getting can't touch it, but see, more or less the landscape hopefully getting covered with snow. Is on the other side of the little hill, and that was exactly why we decided to go up on the hill, because we could shoot in different angles. This is probably the less exciting. And the reason for that is simply, again, because it's so easy on the dark background, the moss over there, or the heather, to see that, gradually getting covered in snow and chasing colors from the dark red or brown until white or into white. But it's a beautiful scenery. Wind is picking up. This is awesome. This is just so perfect. Snowflakes slowly falling down, a little wind to create some turbulence. The most beautiful landscape. This is so good. I didn't even dare to hope for this when I started the project, and now it's here. Yes! Now it's perfect. I really hope it lasts. There's Simon. He has been on another location. Did you add something good?
Yes, definitely.
Perfect. We just decided to change location to go into the woodlands. But then, of course, something beautiful came up, and we just have to stop and make a few clips here. But look at this. It's just the composition of the forest here, like the valleys. Created by the glaciers in the Ice Age, and it's such a spectacular landscape.
This one here will solve all my problems.
I think Simon is struggling with snow melting on the front element of the lens.
The Ice Age was just really frosty, so that all the snow would just peel off the lenses. That's not the case.
It's pretty good. Let's have a look at my composition up here. And I don't know if I have snow on the lens. Now it's basically just to wait for the 10 minutes. We always let the video roll for 10 minutes because it's more or less what we need, maybe 5, 6, 7 minutes. Nice to have a little in each end, and then just to have a routine, so it's not something 3 minutes and 20 minutes. It's nice to have that because sometimes you get really impatient, and then it's nice to have some guidelines like 10 minutes as a minimum, sometimes a little more, but this is nice. we decided to go from the open land and into this dense forest. The light is very low now, so we have about less than half an hour to get the shots we need. And what we need is the mood and the composition of all these lines with the snow, but also we need to like tell the story about it's getting this day with snow, it's getting dark, it's getting evening. So yeah, we better get to some different locations in here. It's about closing time here in the forest, and unlike making stills with video, we are stuck to a 25 of a second. We can't really go below that. So it has been absolutely amazing. All the equipment is full of snow, it's wet, it's cold, and it needs to be taken care of when we get back to Simon's apartment. But for now, it's just time to enjoy the last little bit of this wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day here in the Danish forest. So yeah, this has been awesome. Så har vi vist på højtid med en idé, så vi kommer hjem.
Det er godt fortjent. Den er fortjent.
Ja. I'm just looking through the footage we got from this awesome day out in the winter landscape, and I am so pleased that we got everything we needed to finish that single movie for the hospital project. Now, in this behind the scenes, I want to share with you how we planned the trip and what tools we used for planning, because planning in this case was the difference between getting this and not getting anything. More about that later. I'm also going to talk a lot about how I deal with cold and frozen and wet camera equipment when I come home, depending on if I have access to a cabin or if I'm in a tent, because this can really destroy the equipment in the long run. So yeah, let's get started. Before we move on, I want to thank Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Squarespace lets you build professional looking websites without any knowledge about coding and web design. You simply choose one of the many great looking templates, and by dragging and dropping photos and changing the text and colors, you can make it your own. You can create beautiful galleries to showcase your work, and it's very easy to update the gallery with your latest photos. It also has built-in e-commerce, so you can start selling your prints, calendars and digital products. So if you need a new website, head over to squarespace.com to start your 14 days free trial. And you can use the off code Morten Hilmer to get 10% off your first purchase. I've put a link in the description. Just to sum up on the project and the importance of these bits of footage. The project, it's a hospital, actually 2 hospitals in Denmark. And we have to deliver 7 different moods that each containing 2 hours of footage. Each one of them will be from morning to evening, and each one of them has to express a feeling or a mood that can be like power of nature, that can be silence, that can be a dreamy nature. And what I've been doing now together with Simon is a theme called Silence. And I really wanted to show this season, the winter with the snow, ice, and yeah, I'm so happy. Because as I did mention in the video, snow and frost is rare in Denmark. First of all, because yeah, everything is a little bit warmer than it was 20 years ago, but also because we are surrounded by water, by the oceans. And that gives us this coastal climate here. So yeah, frost and snow is not common here. When we saw the snow was moving up from Poland and we saw the temperatures were falling below 0 degrees Celsius, we knew that this was like a once a year opportunity. So we used 2 tools for planning this trip. First of all, we used 2 or 3 different weather services. The one we currently use the most is called Yr. I'll put link in the description. And another one was my absolute favorite. It's called Windy. The good thing about Windy is that you can add different layers, and by pressing wind, you can see where the wind comes from. You can see waves, you can see snow and rain, and you can either see like air pollution and things like that. And that has like an animated, play function, so that you can see how the cold or the rain or the whatever is moving up. We used that because we could see how the temperatures were coming from southeast. The low temperatures were slowly moving up and somehow dissolving when they reached Denmark, but it was a massive cold area that moved up. At the same time, we saw that rain was falling over Denmark, but we could see as the temperatures were dropping, this slowly turned into snow, and that was exactly what gave us this perfect condition for making these kind of footage, these kind of recordings that we did up there in the forest. Next thing is the equipment, because that was really red, really soaked first with snow, and then it came into the photo bag and it got heated up a little in the car, and everything was wet when we arrived to home. What I do in this situation is I'm taking the memory cards out of my camera and I'm putting them in these small boxes here, waterproof boxes. And I always use a system so that the free memory cards are facing, the right way up, and the used one is facing the back side up, and then they have numbers. Then I know these 2 contain footage. I take them out of the camera, I put them in my pocket, and I do the same thing with my batteries that are stored in this guy. The reason for that is that when I come home, it's still probably a little very cold in the photo bag, and I want to avoid condensation. And condensation comes when you take something that's very cold into something that's much warmer. And not only does it get full of fog or condensation outside, it's also inside the lenses and inside the camera. And the bad thing about that is next time you bring your equipment out in frost, imagine all this condensation, all this wetness is going out into the electronic, all the small mechanical stuff inside the camera. And then when you get into the cold, it will freeze and expand and you can destroy things. So I'm taking these things out because then when I come home, I can put my batteries in the charger, I can put my memory cards, start to load the footage into the computer and to my external hard drive. And then I can leave the things in the back inside the house just for a few hours to let it very slow reach the same temperature as in the house, because then I avoid the condensation. When that has happened, I take the things out and I dry them, make them completely dry as much as I can, and then In this case, I'm in Simon's apartment. We put all our equipment out to the bathroom because there is the heat in the floor. And then overnight, the next morning, everything was just completely dry. So that is one scenario. That is when you're out photographing, you're coming home to a warm place where everything is possible. The thing where you really have to take care is if you're in a situation where, let's say, it's -5 or -10 or -40 degrees Celsius, you're photographing with your equipment, then you're coming into a cabin or your tent and you're going to use it the day after in the same temperatures. In these situations, I always, without exceptions, leave my equipment in my photo bag outside the tent, outside the cabin, outside the car, in the frost, because then I use this rule: one time frozen, let's stay frozen, because then water will not, condensation will not be a problem. And then I have a small pocket camera or a camera dedicated to photograph inside, because then I have my cold equipment and my warm equipment and I do not mix them. If I decide to take my camera, cold camera, into the heat, I have to have it there until it's completely dry, also inside. Then you can use some silica gel, it's called. You can buy that everywhere on Amazon, I think. And it's basically just some product. It looks like small pearls, clear pearls, and they're in a little bag. And always bring a lot of that, because that will obtain the moisture, and you can put that in your photo bag. Just have big bags with it. You can put it in your photo bag when you have dried your equipment, and that will suck out the last moisture from the equipment. Then you just put this silica gel in the oven and dry it, and then it's ready to use again. So yeah, I hope you could use these tips. Now the weather forecast says it's once again going to be frost and maybe snow will come. So now I'm just emptying my cards, recharging my batteries, looking through the footage, and then both Simon and me are getting ready to get out again. We're just going to use every single opportunity to capture these beautiful moments with frost out there. And I think that was it. I hope you could use some of the tips and you enjoyed being out with me in this beautiful weather. And yeah, see you out there.